As a Star Wars fan, I didn't quite know what to expect going into the Star Wars panel at the Disney Investor Day. I knew they were going to be talking about some nice new things, but I didn't know that they were going to be giving us as much as they did. They kind of like set the stage for what to expect for Star Wars over the course of the next couple years, and all things considered, I've been saying this now for quite some time. It is a very, 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 very good time to be a Star Wars fan. The sequel trilogy is now behind us. They know that there was flaws. They know that there were errors, but we are now living in the new world. We're living in a new age where The Mandalorian is kind of setting the stage for everything, and they are very much going to be capitalizing on the success of that show and moving it forward. So I want to talk about everything Star Wars that they brought to us in this 25-minute long panel, because there was a lot for 25 minutes. My God. So first things first, let's talk about the Kenobi show. Kenobi confirmed. We've already known about it a year ago at Disney. It was at D23 when they talked about it. We knew it was happening. It's going to go into production next March. It's going to come out in 2022, and Hayden Christensen is just going to be back as Vader. You know, that's small minor detail. That's small minor thing. That it takes place 10 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith, when Obi-Wan is in hiding and Vader and the Empire at the height of their power. I mean, like, this is going to be a major, massive thing, and all episodes will be directed by Deborah Chow, who is very much missing from this season of The Mandalorian, unfortunately, but I get it. Doing this show is going to be epic beyond belief. I can't believe that, like, they gave us a logo reveal and we got the story elements that we did. It's that cool. It's going to be that great. Not only that, we got the first kind of glimpse at the Andor series. Now we have a real name and we have a logo. So the Cassian Andor series, filming right now, is actually going to be coming out in 2022. And that is a ways to go, unfortunately. It's a long ways to go, but there is going to be Star Wars content in the meantime. But we do know that it's filming right now, and it's using the stagecraft technology, and they are making this thing as mega, as amazing as they can. Mon Mothma's going to be in it. Like, this thing is going to be the lead-in to the original trilogy. I think we're going to get a lot of fan favorite characters. Most likely one Mon Calamari that was so unceremoniously jettisoned into space in The Last Jedi might get a little bit of more time in the sun. Who doesn't want more of that? Honestly. Yeah, one thing I forgot to mention about Cassian Andor, it's 12 episodes. They did mention that 12 episodes are coming, 12 scripts have been written, which is longer than The Mandalorian, which tells me that it is also probably going to be a limited series. I just, again, have a feeling that's what they're going to be going for, but again, I'm not against it. I just think it's going to be cool to spend more time in the Rogue One world leading into the original trilogy. That's an era of Star Wars that I love, which is another reason why I love The Mandalorian, because it's 5 years after the events of Return of the Jedi, and it's still a lot of the same aesthetic. So it's nice to kind of spend time in that world a bit more. And I think they know at this point this is what fans want. So those are what we know for what's going to be coming out, that we already knew about what's going to be coming out. So there's other things live action wise that were not that were announced today. So for one, you got well, and this is something I haven't seen a lot of people really talk about yet, and I think they should. We're getting 2 Mandalorian spin-offs, and they're going to culminate into a cinematic event, right? They use the word cinematic. I don't quite know if that means going to theaters or if that just means a big event series on Disney+. But we know Mandalorian Season 2 wraps up next week. Unfortunately, Christmas time 2021 is when we're going to see Season 3. But Rangers of the New Republic is going to be coming out, as well as a limited Ahsoka series. And that is something we all kind of knew at the same time. You hear all the talks, you hear everything else. But what Kathleen Kennedy had said is that it's going to culminate in like an Avengers-like situation. And if you've been watching this season of The Mandalorian, it almost feels like Filoni and Favreau are very much establishing the Avengers of Star Wars. And that is something that is wildly interesting and wildly awesome. I actually can't really wait to see what they do with this, you know? And again, even with the Rangers, we've been seeing a lot more of like Filoni as a Ranger and that other guy as a Ranger, and them getting a bit more screen time has had a lot of fans kind of talking like, what does this mean? What are they going to do with these guys? Why are they now cops? Oh, and Cara Dune's spin-off show is probably not going to happen, but we do know now, spoilers, that she is actually a member, a Ranger in the New Republic, or she works for the New Republic. She's now a cop. So what does that mean? Cara Dune spin-off show, and that could be the one that we've been hearing about where she might team up with Bo-Katan. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? There's been a lot of rumor and a lot of speculation, but there is that, and that is going to be pretty freaking cool. I can't wait to see that. And as for Ahsoka, we don't know yet, but I have a feeling it has a lot to do with Star Wars Rebels, where that whole thing ended, and based upon what she said in regards to looking for Thrawn, that is probably going to be where we get to see that. They didn't give us a release date, but that is in fact coming, and I was as well. Fully admit. That was ping! Turkey's done. You know what I mean? It was all good. Then from there, we also found out about the Lando series being in development. Oh yeah, so I'm the first person, by the way, if I'm gonna toot my own horn, if I'm gonna talk myself up a little bit, I was the first person to break that story on YouTube all the way back in November 2019 when Mikey Sutton from Geekosity Mag tossed me the exclusive scoop. Here's the thing, no one talked about it back then until Kessel Run Transmissions a few months ago brought it up in their own reporting, but still, Mikey never got any love, and neither did I, but that's okay. We don't do this for the clout, we do this for the news. That's why we do what we do here on YouTube. But the Lando Calrissian Limited series is going to be coming. No word if Donald Glover is going to be back in it, but I mean, let's be realistic here. The likelihood of it happening is pretty high. That is, unless this is that weird hybrid show we heard of where it was going to be Billy D as old Lando. And again, I'm not against that either, but I kind of still feel like given everything that's going on with Star Wars in the Mandalorian era, it would just make more sense to probably have Lando Calrissian make an appearance during that timeline. That is just, at this point, that's basically what I can kind of figure is going to be happening. They've also got the Leslie Headland show finally has a name. That's called Acolyte. And it's going to take place at the end of the High Republic. So it's going to be in the final days of the High Republic, most likely dealing with the rise of the Sith leading into the events of the Phantom Menace. A lot of people thought this was going to be the Dr. Aphra series we've been hearing rumored about for so long, but apparently that's not the case, which is unfortunate. And from there, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what they come up with for this particular show. As I keep saying, the High Republic is going to be the gateway that Disney is going to use to push Star Wars into China. And using a show like this, once, you know, the Chinese fans can get into it, I think is going to be a good way to kind of segue them towards the prequel trilogy, the original trilogy, and then like the rest of us with the maybe finding a new love for the sequel trilogy. I don't know. I still don't know if that's ever going to happen, but that's what we know about that one. They are doing an animated anthology series, an anime anthology series called Star Wars Visions. It's going to be talking with, they're working with the top anime producers out of Japan. I don't really care about that, to be honest with you. Star Wars and anime, like there's that one TIE Fighter short film that was done in the old like Macross style of animation that's on YouTube. That's pretty dope. You should check that one out. If it was like that, like highly detailed, I'd be on board, but I just don't see it. I don't see it being like Miyazaki levels of production on this one. I just see it being like, oh, like Gotham Knight, Halo Legends, the Animatrix. Although the Animatrix was pretty dope, to be honest with you. They took some interesting concepts and they made it very cool. Batman Gotham Knight failed on that front, as well as Halo Legends also failed on that kind of anthology front. But this is just that kind of anthology for Star Wars, which I don't understand why they still want to create content that is, you know, trying to, I get it. They want to, you know, they want to do more cultural things and head out into the world like that. I get all that, but I find it to be boring and I just don't care. You know, that didn't interest me at all. There's also going to be a Droid Story, which is, according to StarWars.com, I have to just read this off. As Lucasfilm continues to develop new stories, this intersection of animation and visual effects offers new opportunities to explore. Lucasfilm Animation will be teaming up with Lucasfilm's visual effects team, ILM, to develop a special Star Wars adventure for Disney+. A Droid Story is the epic journey that will introduce us to a new hero guided by the legendary duo R2-D2 and C-3PO. So, okay, cool. I'll say that should be fun. It's going to be for kids, let's be fair. But anything to get Anthony Daniels back into the voice acting role of the character, he'll take a paycheck and I'll watch it. Continuing on with the animation front side of things, we got the first sizzle reel for The Bad Batch, which, oh my God, Oh my God. I mean, like the animation really picked up for the Clone Wars in season 7, especially with the Siege of Mandalore. I thought they did a great job with the way that they put it all together. And this seems to really build off of that, which is pretty fantastic. I, for one, am very excited to see what they come up with for the Bad Batch. Like, I don't know much about the series. I don't know if it's going to be a full season thing or it's just going to be a limited series. A lot of these seem to be more limited series, so they're just trying to experiment with longer form storytelling, which honestly can work. So that's going to be pretty fascinating and pretty cool. So that's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so jumping over into the movie side of things, we got two big announcements. The Taika Waititi film is confirmed. We don't know anything about it, just that he is writing it right now, and it's going to be his style, his flair, his humor. And the image that they showed was very much a Schoolhouse Rock 70s style animation logo for Star Wars. I don't quite know what to take from that. I don't quite know what exactly they plan on doing with that or what that really means, but okay. I like Taika Waititi. I'm really excited to see what he does with this. I know I might be alone on that front. There are a lot of people out there who simply did not like Thor Ragnarok because of the tonal shift that it had between the first two Thors and the third. But I'm actually a pretty big fan of what they did with Thor Ragnarok, as well as what they do in the shadows and all that stuff. So I'm really excited to see how the whole thing turns out. I think it's going to be pretty good, but we don't know anything about it at all. But what we do know a bit more about is the 2023 Christmas time release. So now we have to wait till 2023, 3 years away, but we know what we're getting, and what we're getting is massive. Patty Jenkins, and this is probably why she's been very coy to talk about Wonder Woman 3, is going to be directing a Rogue Squadron movie. But they did a little video showcasing why she wanted to do it. And she talked about how she was the daughter of a fighter pilot, and she would watch her dad take off in the planes, and that just completely influenced her. And she always wanted to tell a story about a fighter pilot, and she wants to honor the memory of her dad who fell in action serving the country, which is awesome. And so she's now being able to merge that with Star Wars to be able to tell us a Rogue Squadron movie. What the hell? Rogue Squadron. So this is a big deal for a couple of reasons. One, it's Rogue Squadron. So that already right there, bing, turkey's done. Couple times. It's massive. I love it. I can't wait to see more from it. But the Rogue Squadron was Luke Skywalker and Wedge Antilles and a bunch of other dudes. Okay, so it's like, go back to the original game and then even the sequel that they put out there. Like, that is the canon. So I'm wondering, is this going to be the reintroduction of Luke Skywalker? Is the Rogue Squadron movie going to focus on a Luke Skywalker led squadron of fighters that are going to be going and cleaning out the remnants of the Empire following the events of Return of the Jedi? And I think that's the case, considering the fact that we've been seeing all of these things right now with the Disney Plus shows, with Mando and everything else, that seem to kind of be tying itself around the concept of Luke Skywalker returning. And there's been a lot of push from people online to put Sebastian Stan in that role, and he's doing the limited series of Falcon and Winter Soldier, so he'll have an open schedule here pretty soon. So why not make him the new Luke Skywalker and tell us stories of Luke Skywalker during the era of post-Return of the Jedi and leading into the creation of the Jedi Temple. So there's a lot there. I mean, I could be wrong, I could be over speculating, but the idea here is pretty sound. And I think it's going to be pretty awesome to see what they come up with. All things considered, I was very impressed with this particular presentation. I was very happy with this particular presentation. And it just goes to show you that right now it is a fantastically great time to be a Star Wars fan. But as always, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your opinions about all of these things that we saw today. And of course, I'll be doing the same type of video for Marvel. So I want to hear it. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day. Please like and subscribe. It helps with the YouTube algorithm right now. It's all terrible. And have a good one. And peace out.